The president's attempts at consoling communities in pain paling in comparison to some of the men and women who seek to replace him.
Translation, Trump's not compassionate, but this guy is.
In an emotional encounter, El Paso native Beto O'Rourke yesterday comforted an anguished member of his community. Here's that moment.
Talk to me.
We need to fix this, Beto. It's too much. El Paso was great. I don't know why this town is doing this to us.
It's all right. Come here, man.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Let's just take a moment to appreciate the deep irony and hypocrisy of this scene. Here's Robert Francis beta male O'Rourke surrounded and protected by an armed security detail trying to manipulate and convince you through what some may call a staged emotional encounter to give up your firearms protection as he refuses to give up his firearms protection.
Display of raw humanity.
Mama, this is your boy again, your beta male boy. Guess what, Mama? I know who I'm going to vote for this year. I'm going to vote for beta male O'Rourke. Why? Didn't you see his raw humanity over there on mainstream media? I mean, raw humanity, Mama. That's what we need, raw humanity.
Display of raw humanity. Beto O'Rourke then offering the grieving man his contact information and telling him to reach out if he needs help. O'Rourke wasn't the only person who seemed to have an easier time touching the nation's raw nerves and speaking to the bravery of the victims with more eloquence than the president.
Politics is the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism,
In an emotional encounter,
and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement. And mainstream corporate media is more than happy to add to that deception.
touching the nation's raw nerves.
The question is, will you guys be fooled into giving away more of your rights?
We can't continue to be this stupid. It just defies common sense.
Anybody with a cursory knowledge of the history of governments around the world who've disempowered their subjects by disarming them, and a knowledge of how effective mainstream media propaganda hype can be, know full well that our political overlords do not desire our good, even as they mouth the hollow words, "We must do something to keep the people safe." Here's the Counterfeit News Network's Chris Cuomo laying it on thick as he attempts to pry open your grip on the truth and liberty by telling you that you're stupid if you don't want to live as a free man, which he views as dangerous.
We can't continue to be this stupid. It just defies common sense. We have a clear consensus among Americans of wanting better and more protection.
This guy might as well be a CIA actor, and probably is. He's making you out to be foolish if you don't trust the government with a gun registry.
People point to the 94 assault weapons ban as a model, but is it really? Barely found political consensus. It was like 216 to 214. And to be honest, it really was easily run around by manufacturers. So I would argue we've never really taken this on. And yet, change is obvious. What good argument did you hear tonight for why all gun sales should not be checked and that data really shouldn't be shared with relevant agencies? These fears of some mystery database where they'll know what you have, and then when you have to go against the government someday, you'll be unprepared, ill-equipped. Come on. 100-round drums are no more necessary than bump stocks. And even this president found his way to banning those.
You can trust media. You can trust presidents. You don't need 100-round drums. You don't need bump stocks. All you need is to trust us and trust the government.
The rules that state already that you have certain requirements to meet if you want a handgun, concealed, open carry permits, those questions, the affidavits, those sales, if you just put those in place with every sale, you'd make a real difference in vetting who gets weapons and why. And we already have the infrastructure for it.
So, why not trust the government today and give away more of your freedoms? Studies show the government isn't powerful enough. They haven't wasted enough of your money. They haven't stacked up the national debt high enough. They haven't started enough wars. Just give away to them your right to protect yourself and your loved ones. Come on, what do you say? You can trust us. We're just trying to help.
And yes, letting families flag authorities about a loved one who seems determined to hurt themselves or others and remove their access to weapons, not forever.
Not forever.
Not in every case. That would help too.
Yeah, it's not forever. Come on, let your guard down. We're CNN. How could you not trust us?
And it would be nice to track shootings federally. It'd be nice to know what's happening and where and by whom. And the reasons for doing none of these things are hollow at best and toxic in the main.
I hope you got that. He's calling wanting to hold on to your individual rights toxic. It's not bad enough that Chris Cuomo wants to get you to submit like a good little servant and bow down and kiss the rings of political overlords, but he goes all cultic on us. Check this out.
So I believe it is down to you and what you demand. And I was reminded of the power of our people when I was in El Paso. That's why I'm holding this rock. I've been holding it all week. This woman named Alma gave it to me. She was personally affected by the El Paso massacre. But she was watching us and she was worried about us. So in her grief, she goes and finds a rock that was heavy in her garden. She said it was important that it was heavy so you'd feel the weight of it. And she paints it with Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Mother of Mercy.
Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Mother of Mercy.
And she brings it to me and says, I think you need this. Keep this with you. It's heavy and you should feel this weight on your heart because this matters. This is who we are.
This is who we are.
He actually has no idea what he's saying here. Or maybe he does. He points to this rock painted with the cultic icon of a satanic, Holy Roman Catholic authoritarian pedophile institution rooted in the fantasies and fables of perverted men and says, this is who we are.
This is who we are.
And what he actually did was promoted more veiled truth than you've ever witnessed on CNN. What they want to do is control you through the concocted fantasies of vile men who want to take away your power to defend yourself. They want you to believe that they are the controllers, that they are the rule makers. They don't care about your safety. It's all a lie. They want true criminals to be stronger than you. The goal of government is to create a slave class who depends on the government for their protection. And whether this was done intentionally or not, he promoted the idea of government as the God before whom you must bow and beg for mercy.
Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Mother of Mercy.
Statism is a religion. The priests are its politicians, and their laws are the commandments of the church. If you disobey their commandments or laws, then you are a sinner and you must be punished. This, in word and action, is exactly the message they're conveying.
Americans love deeply, and they connect fully. Our real currency here isn't cash. It's community and compassion. That's what makes us who we are. We cry and we cringe. We don't want to be divided on being safe. We know there's every reason for us to come together. So I ask you to ignore the politics. Be open to options. But most importantly, you have to demand your leaders do their damn jobs. And remember, we have to be better on this because the problem is literally killing us.
And that is Hypocrisy 101 in the closing seconds. He tells us to ignore politics, but then he wants us to demand that our so-called leaders do their damn jobs. The job, of course, of taking away more of our liberties so that they can falsely promise us more security. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. If you guys enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. Also, check out over 100 hard-hitting designs in the shirt store, and if you want to support more content, hit me up on Patreon or PayPal. All those links will be in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored Shadow Ban video.